Welcome back, Warriors. Another episode of Vigor Warriors 2. So, I always like to, focus on comments you guys are making and different types of subject material. And I usually would not focus on this one, but we've had a lot of younger viewers watching, and I've had a lot of conversations with different people and a lot of my students as well. And one of the biggest topics to talk about is how to attract female attention. This is from the males, of course. Um, so let me kind of talk about this a little bit. Usually, I would say to you that you have to be very careful with the vampires, succubuses, and energy. However, if you are interested in how this is working when it comes to your journey and all these type of things, then I'm going to go over it and kind of delve into it on this episode. But remember, there's a disclaimer here that you're going to get a lot of attention through your journey because people are going to sense that energy in you. They're going to behave in a way where they want that energy. So you don't need to look at a lot of, worry about a lot of attraction. However, there is one key component that you have to be able to accept. And you have to be able to accept that you're an approachable person and have that confidence that comes from the journey and being able to visualize that you're an attractive person. And this is what I'm going to talk about a little bit because I think that you may get the attention, and if you're really interested in trying to, pursue a relationship with one of the people or however you want to do that with people that you're actually with, then there are some things you have to kind of think about. So I'm going to focus on that a little bit today. But first, go ahead and subscribe, like, comment, and I appreciate all the comments that I'm getting. And we have a few more coming. I think what I'm going to do is maybe do one more tonight, and then I'm going to take a couple days off to catch up with other types of things, and I'll come back maybe on a Monday night or Tuesday. We'll see what happens. All right, so focusing on this, one of the key elements that you have to kind of look at is, we talked about this in another one about perceptions. You have to kind of look at yourself and say, I can see in my mind how I am perceived. And if you feel that you're an attractive person, you're going to generate that within yourself. You have to visualize and see yourself being an attractive, in this case, male. I'm just focusing on males and younger males in this one particularly. Younger males, you need to kind of think to yourself, okay, I am going to be that attractive person. Okay, a lot of the attraction but is not what you think it is. The attraction really comes from the feeling that person has around you. And that comes from the energy, of course. But the energy is only a part of it. You have to, in your mind, now have to associate you're going to become a confident person. You're going to be a dominant male, somebody who evokes attraction. We're going to talk about this in one of these episodes coming up pretty soon. But we have been, unfortunately, socialized through school and a lot of different other areas that we'll talk about in another video to not be the masculine person you should be. Now, there's nothing wrong with being able to work with people and having empathy and having a little bit of that sort of be able to work with people. But what's happened to a lot of males, in my opinion, especially younger males, they've lost that ability to be strong and to take charge command. And that's been taught in school since you were younger. All these type of things you see, in a lot of single parent families, there's a lot of dads that are missing from relationships, and so there's not only role models. There's a lot of issues with our young males nowadays, and so we need to get back on the track. Which is one of the reasons I'm doing a lot of this right now. We need to get back on track for males to be those strong males, because I'll tell you what's happening is that a lot of those attributes, because the males are not doing them, the females are being taught to do them, and that it can only last so long. It's very difficult for a female mother by themselves to raise a male and teach them male qualities. You can't do that. They got to have a male role model to emulate of some sort. The female, obviously from a mother's standpoint, will do the best she can, but that's not going to teach them how to be strong and not to be passive. And those are the types of things that are really important here. And so when you're visualizing, guys, you have to kind of visualize someone who is a strong male person, who is a dominant person who takes command, who can take charge. And there's nothing wrong with, getting feedback and working with females in this case and showing them affection and attention. There's nothing wrong with that. That's wonderful. But you're the person who is the prize here. You're the person who should be leading this relationship. And if females expect you to do that, even the most, women in this movement that we've had over the last 40 years, I can't really name the movement, but the movement, they're still wanting strong men. Now, they may be strong themselves, but they want even stronger men. People who are ambitious, they have things on their going. They're not centralizing everything around them. And somehow we've lost track of all this in our society. We've somehow gotten dumbed down to the point where males are acting more like females and females are acting more like males. And we need to change that. And that's why I'm saying that we need to go back to visualizing attraction through the fact of being a virile, strong men who are going to actually take command and are tough, and they're not going to put up with stuff. They're going to, take on competition. They're going to take on people that they need to protect, to gain things, to achieve goals, to be strong. And so in your mind, you have to use your mind to visualize that you're going to be this strong, vigorous male. Now, as a result of that, then women will be attracted to you. And men will be attracted in certain ways as well to be able to give you opportunities, respect you. You'll be respected a lot more because you're on this journey. And on top of this, you're thinking in terms now, I'm going to be this strong male. And so now the combination of that is a dangerous combination. And I just had this a few minutes outside at my door. I was walking the dog, and this beautiful young lady was trying to find directions. And she just comes up, and she's pleasant and nice and really thankful and all those type of things. And that was very strange, a very strange conversation. But it just shows you the attraction. And this person must have been 20 years old. And so 40 years younger than I am. Now, of course, then you have to use it the way you do it. And I think it's just flattering. And I think that's how I left it. But the point being is that if you want relationships, you're going to have to think of yourself as being an attractive person. And if you're an attractive person, those things are going to come your way. Now, if you're still struggling with this, an easy exercise would be to sit there at night as you're meditating or as you're just thinking. You're going to visualize the attributes that a strong male, attractive male has. Now, the best way to kind of look at this is look at some of the behaviors that these chads or bad boys do. Now, I'm not going to suggest all those behaviors because they end up self-destructing themselves in the long run. They can't last in a relationship. But you want to look at some of those behaviors and say, why are girls and women attracted to that? Well, the biggest reason is that they don't really care. They don't care whether or not people are attracted to them or not. And that's what I found on this journey. Because I'm so wrapped into this journey, I don't really think about it all that much. And because I don't think about it, it just happens to me. All of a sudden, you're dealing with someone who just looks at you a certain way, and you know that they like you, they're flirting with you. All those type of things happen. Now, you have to then continue on this pace, because as you're in a relationship with somebody like this, you've got to continue giving the signs that you are basically doing your own thing. You're on your purpose, you're on your point, and that person's got to follow you. Guys, this is so important because we have it all backwards in many cases. And I'm going to try to get my son Frosty and these other people to come in and talk, and do some interviews with people and with the younger dating system. But it seems like it's all backwards. The men are putting the women on the pedestal, and the women, even though they may like it at times, they don't respect it. And they're going to go out and find those guys that are challenges to them. And those are the types of things that you want to look at and say, okay, I don't want to necessarily play a game and be a challenge. But by the fact I'm on my journey, I'm not losing my energy, people are going to sense that. They're going to see you're in control. And if you're on your purpose and the fact that you're not paying attention to people, especially women, they're going to come after you because they're going to basically need that attention. Attention and validation is a very key point when it comes to relationships. And if you're on your point, if you're on goal, That's going to be very difficult for that person to change you off of that. But they're going to want to, because they need to be, in many guys, validation from you or attention from you. They want your attention. This is what I'm talking about when I talk about vampires, right? But the key is going to be, as you visualize yourself as a handsome male, a person who's very virile, vigorous, goal setters, accomplishing a lot in this world, and is keeping on their path, and they are basically someone who is of high value. You have to look at yourself as a high value person. This is how you have to visualize yourself. So what I would do is sit there and concentrate on a picture of yourself as having lots of girls around you, lots of people around you. And you're going to go ahead then and visualize that goal and see yourself doing that, having fun, being able to choose what kind of relationship you want. You know, girls calling you all the time. This is a picture that you want to have in your mind. Now, it may be something you're going to reject right away as something that doesn't make a lot of sense, and that's not me. But in the long run, this is going to be able to help you immensely, because you're going to start seeing this picture and play it over and over again. And you see yourself doing this, then all of a sudden you convince yourself, yeah, I can do that. And as you get more successes because of the journey you're on, all of a sudden women are coming to you, and you're saying to yourself, oh, this is not ironic. This has got to be something that's really real. It can't just be happen, because it didn't happen before. And I've noticed this on my 475 days. None of this stuff happened before. Very rarely. But it happens a lot more frequently. Almost every day, every few hours, something happens like that. It's just very strange. But not if you think about it in terms of that you're becoming a more attractive person. Your skin's more attractive, your eyes are more attractive, because you're keeping all these energy in you. And on top of it, your brain is more focused and focusing on the fact that you are a confident, virile male that people want. It's an exception. In this society, we're teaching all the wrong things, as far as I'm concerned, when it comes to this. And the opposite of the thing is really more of the rule. And females that I've talked to, they struggle. They struggle because they don't want to be all responsible all the time, doing all the things, being a leader all the time. And they want males to come along and be able to take that leadership role. And a lot of young males are struggling because A, they haven't been taught that, and B, they're not comfortable with that. And so we need to go back and start teaching more masculinity. And I know we're talking about people talking about toxic masculinity and all that kind of stuff. But to me, a lot of that stuff is just going back to the same stereotype they're trying to preach and trying to have males not be strong. Yes, of course, there's people who are going to be abusive, and that's unacceptable. But when you talk about it, the idea that you have to be masculine is something that males are blessed with and shall keep with. And that's the bottom line. So until next time, battle on, warriors. Battle on.